But when you talk about fears of declaring martial law, Trump is doing this without declaring martial law. This is ICE doing it. And ICE has a huge budget and they are detaining people. They are detaining American citizens. This is a huge, huge deal. And it's getting local attention and it's getting some national attention, but not nearly enough national attention, because when it does get attention, as in the case in New York, where an ICE agent took a young woman and threw her against a wall into the floor, ICE has to back off a little bit. So before you worry too much about um, military, I'm sorry, martial law, which by the way is not Marshall like James Marshall Hendricks, Marshall. It's Marshall like as in war, Martial, like the god Mars, the god of war. That is certainly something that the administration is playing with, and it's playing with it. We saw in a declaration today that the U.S. is at war with drug cartels, although the administration did not spell out what it meant by drug cartels, and most legal analysts are saying this is just simply not going to hold water. It is dancing around that issue because that would give the president really quite large powers, but it doesn't need that to cause extraordinary havoc among our neighbors. So before you worry too much about that coming, ICE is already here, and ICE is already detaining U.S. citizens as well as undocumented immigrants, as well as immigrants who are here lawfully, whose status sometimes changes because of the changes the administration is making, and are detaining people that they claim are criminals. But we all know at this point they're trying to fill their quotas by taking anybody who might have any kind of warrant or anything in their past, any kind of blemish in their past, that enables them to add them to their quotas. So before you worry too much about martial law, remember that ICE is already here, and ICE is already incredibly damaging to the social fabric and to this country. All right, so part of that, you asked, where are the detainees that ICE has gathered? And I want to reemphasize here, as I keep doing, the administration is making it very, very, very difficult to figure out what they're doing by simply refusing to release any information about anything. So we know that people are disappearing into the system, and we don't know how or when they come out. There are people who track what appear to be ICE flights to other countries. We don't know the names of the people on those flights. And this, people ask a lot about the detainees who appear to have disappeared from the detention center in the Florida Everglades, whose nickname I refuse to use. Those people, there are all kinds of concern about what has happened to those people. It's just entirely possible that they have been rendered to another country, that they have been deported, that they are in different detention facilities, that those records are not accessible to people who are trying to find that out, including family members. It does not necessarily, I should say necessarily, it probably does not mean that they have been unalived, but that they have been hidden somewhere, moved somewhere, rendered somewhere, pushed out of the United States into a place where their lives are certainly unstable. But just to lay a little bit of comfort, perhaps anyway, over that. I'm not going to dig too much more into that. But I do want to point out how much what is happening in the United States right now looks like Reconstruction. That is the period in the United States after the Civil War in which a very small group of reactionary white Southerners used terror, which is what the ICE sweeps are designed to do, to gain political control over the American South for 80 years. And the key thing that we have today that Reconstruction era Americans did not have is the ability to communicate with each other, and the ability to post videos, and the ability to call this stuff out in real time when the administration says, for example, over that ICE raid in Chicago, that they arrested people who were members of a gang. We have the ability to say, as people did almost instantly, you have no evidence of that. You have not produced any